better than what Blake and I looked like last night.
Do you think?
Yeah,
I think
that's
so.
good.
Okay, cool.
I'm gonna sit right here.
Have fun.
All right.
Trapped.
You are trapped.
All right, excited to hear about it.
Okay.
Right on.
Could turn in later.
If I scream.
I don't know, Dave.
Everybody scream!
Well, awesome. There we go.
Okay.
Well, Dave, welcome to the show.
Are we live already?
We're live already.
Wow. See, I thought you were
In
telling
progress.
Me to see.
Jump right into it, you know?
Let's do it.
That's kind of how it goes with this.
Let's get after it.
Get after it.
Getting after it.
Getting after it.
Past
I mean,
tense.
Yeah. We're always
yeah.
getting after it, you know,
Very
always
good.
finding what the next move is and all that. So
I love that title anyway. So
It's-
that's cool.
it's good. I mean, the reason I came up with that title is, I don't know if you know who Jocko Willink is.
Explain. Tell me.
He's
I've
a
heard the name.
he's a Navy SEAL or ex-Navy SEAL, but he was a Navy SEAL commander.
Heard the name.
And all those guys, they all talk about, you know, you got to get after it. You got to push yourself and put yourself out there.
Okay.
And when I was in college, I found that and
Inspired you.
found it all, inspired me and taught me about discipline and
Cool.
how to work hard. So yeah, now it's
Cool.
part of my life, getting after it. And it's great because now I get to have people on like you to
I love it.
tell me about, you know, what you're getting after and ultimately some life lessons. So yeah, I really appreciate you coming on tonight and
You're welcome.
just having the conversation.
Happy to be here.
Yeah, maybe just from the top, just introduce yourself and
Okay. I'll go into that and then kind of why you brought me here. So, my name is Dave Daly or David Daly. Do I look at the camera or do I just look wherever I want to?
Yeah, you could just look at
asking you.
Yeah, look at me. It's conversation.
Yeah. So
For dramatic effect, sometimes you can look
it's
at the
my
camera.
first appearance on a podcast. I got to tell you.
Yeah.
So David Daly. I'm home here in Mesa. This feels like home. I was born in Utah, but moved away when I was 7, and my stomping grounds all here in Mesa. And I know you're visiting here with Mesa with Daly, but
Yeah. Used to live here too, Gilbert.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
Born and raised.
There you go.
You ever been out to Riggs Road out there? That's my
Oh,
family.
Yeah.
So
Oh, yeah. So our last house before we bought this one was out there and way out there in Higley and Chandler Heights.
Oh, nice. Okay. Yeah,
Shamrock Estates.
yeah, my grandparents live right out there.
Yeah.
I actually was part of that
Probably
state.
same
so,
stake. Yeah.
That's
It was
crazy.
very cool. I miss it. I love Gilbert, but house was huge and emptiness, and it was and then it was upstairs, and this body was not doing the upstairs. So, speaking of this body, I'll get into it. Tell what happened.
Please,
It was this body. What's going on?
Yeah, what is going on?
So, have you told anybody? This is here it goes. The reveal is happening.
This is
now.
it. Yeah, I mean, I can kind of set it up, and then I'd love for you just to go to the story. But yeah, you
set
had
it up.
a pretty severe accident happen.
Yep.
And the reason I wanted you to come on and share the story is, for me, it was a story when Allie told me about pure resilience and like pushing yourself to, you know, get better and heal. And I think it's an amazing story. And if you don't mind, maybe taking us, you know, to the beginning.
Memory lane.
Memory lane.
Yeah,
we
I
got all
will.
night, so
I
don't.
won't spare any, miss any stuff here. So, so it was 8 years ago, 2017, and it definitely was a game changer. I don't want to miss anything. So it was a family vacation. It's that one where Jen probably planned it for a year and a half, and nobody's pregnant, and nobody on a mission, so everybody is attending. So.
Where was it?
It was in. Thank you. It was in Ensenada, California, which is just above La Jolla.
Yeah.
So she got the beach house, right on the beach, and there was probably a total of I think 32 of us there, grandkids in total. So yeah, it was a party.
Yeah.
I crashed that party, but anyways, a party, and we were in SeaWorld and Disneyland, probably the whole thing. And we got there, and it was second day in, and I think we just had a day relaxing that we could do stuff before the big stuff happens the next few days. So I remember talking to Hayden, which is my son, and Carlos, which is my son-in-law. Okay, and they're both at the time probably 23 or something. I'm guessing, can't remember. Yeah, somewhere in there. 21, something like that. Carlos had just married Alicia, which she knows Allie very well.
Yeah.
So, and we bought some boogie boards, and that's what we were going to do. Play in the ocean. Grandkids were going to build sandcastles.
Oh yeah,
and
I'm the one
very-
building sandcastles when we go.
I do too now. So, and just fun. And I was probably, too old and too fat to be out there boogie boarding, but, I was trying too hard to be cool for my son or something.
Yeah.
So that was the deal. We got out there and just was going to boogie board and did that. And, I did that a little bit in my youth, a little bit. So got out there and the waves were pretty good that day. I mean, they were pretty strong. And so I remember I was after 2 or 3 waves. It was strange. On the boogie board, I had a thought that, maybe this weight and it might, I could see the water rippling on the front of the board there. And I'm thinking, I wonder if that, catches and tips it forward. So maybe I should have paid attention to that thought. But anyway, so I did have a thought there, and it was literally 2 waves later.
Yeah.
So, and keep in mind, we're just having fun. Go out, take a wave, and go out, and then come back in. We're not babysitting each other.
It wasn't too far out in the water. Or
It was out there ways.
Okay.
I mean, where you pick up the wave. So yeah, not too far out, but I drifted down from Jen, maybe where headquarters was with Jen was probably, I don't know, maybe 200 yards down, because we were pretty widespread out, and I had family members far away on the other side, Mason, and other people were on the other side. And anyway, so we were just having fun and getting out there and taking the waves, and took this wave here, and I remember it was a pretty good one. It picked me up, and sure enough, it tipped that way, and I think the front did catch and tip. So when it did that, it kind of turned the boogie board like just completely sideways, so it made a wall. So it made a wall, and then you respect Mother Nature after these type of things, I'm telling you.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna drink water. The wave got behind the boogie board and kind of made a wall, and I guess I held on to the boogie board. It maybe got nervous or something, but held on to it. It happened so fast, but then the wave pushed that boogie board down. Probably, I'm going to guess maybe 6 feet, 6 feet where that was, maybe less. So it pushed it down, held on to it, and so it came down. And then I end up hitting my forehead and my nose, just right here, right in the center of my forehead, and kind of the tip of the top of the nose there. And I hit it pretty hard, and it snapped my neck back, and it just like cracked. I thought all literally went through my mind was, wow, that was pretty wicked. I better just go in.
Yeah.
It was one of those ones where I better go take a break.
Yeah.
So
It knocks the
it
wind
wasn't
out
that
of you a
bad.
little
Just
bit.
like, that was pretty heavy. It rattled me around a little bit, probably like a rag doll underneath the water there, and hitting the bottom. So that was what my thought was. So I came up, and this is the aha moment. So that's what I call the aha moment. Came up and literally thought we better go in. So I go to move, and there's nothing. So nothing from the shoulders down. So from the shoulders down, there's just, it was this most eerie, strange feeling.
Yeah.
in the
What's
world.
that like?
I mean, you can't even explain it. So there's steps there, and it felt like an eternity. But,
Yeah.
and you come up, and I'm literally, so now I'm in 5 feet of water on the ocean. Again, we're not babysitting each other, so I don't know where I've drifted to. Nobody's really watching me. So I'm in, let's say, 5 feet of water, and I'm facing down, just floating, face down in the ocean there.
And you
So
can't
then your mind
move
starts
to turn
thinking,
over.
no, can't
Holy
move at
cow.
all. Shoulders there. So then the thoughts happen, this is it. I'm done, because we're not babysitting each other. So I'm thinking, how long do I have in this type of thing? So I'm going to guess probably 2 minutes went by. And I'll tell you what happened. And there's I don't know if you're a spiritual person. Well, I know you are.
Absolutely. Yeah.
But there's a lot of things that happened at the time. I know we have a lot of things in life that things happen to us, and this is one of those. So face down there for, probably just shy of 2 minutes. That's a long time. By all intents and purposes, I should have freaked out. Probably, first of all, taken some salt water.
Yeah.
Freaked out there and tried to scream or do something. Couldn't move, but was really calm, eerie calm. So very calm, but just had a lot of deep thoughts, like, anyway, that's kind of hard to explain, but very, this aha moment, just sitting there. And next thing you know, Carlos, which is Lisa's husband, So I call him the protector or the guardian angel. He, I'll get up on tangents here. He comes up, and next thing you know, he's grabbing my shoulder and tips me up, and I'll never forget. I made eye contact right at Carlos, and I look at him. I said, "I broke my neck. Get me in." So we're in 5 feet of water, and as the waves swell, it ends up 6 feet, and you go down to 5. So it's doing that. So he's a stud. He grabs me. Hayden's off, I think, taking a wave. He has no clue.
Yeah.
So, but Carlos, so I'll back up here. He doesn't take a wave, and just felt inspired not to take that wave and to look for me. So this is what he tells me. In the hospital, I asked him, like, what did you do? Anyway, so he just said he felt inspired not to take the wave, and I want to make sure to get everything here. He looks at whatever, I'll call my protector. He's looking, and he sees the boogie board just floating with nothing, and it's a good distance away. So he hightails it over there and swims to me. I'm back up, and then he gets to me, and he grabs my shoulder and lifts me up. And he said there was blood all over like the head, and because it was, it's one of them things that just kind of tears. It wasn't terrible, but it bleed a lot. So
you show me you sent me the picture.
Yeah, I sent a few pictures just so you get an idea.
Looks like
it's like a big scab here and there, but I guess that I couldn't see it, but I guess it bleeds a lot. So he thought I got bit by a shark. He didn't know.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
so
man.
That's what he told me. He said I thought you get bit by a shark. That would have been a cool story. I tell people that sometimes. You should see the shark.
Hey, you fought the shark.
Yeah, I killed the shark, broke his jaw. Yeah. That'd probably be a cooler story than this one, but better tell the truth. So, am I talking too loud in this mic?
No, it's perfect.
Carlos comes up, and I look at him just straight in the eyes, and I must have been like, oh my gosh, I'm saved. I said, I broke my neck, get me in. So he's 5'9", and he can barely stand up out there when those swells comes. He's not going to stand. So he just takes me, he's a little steady, just takes me and lifts me. He probably had a lot of adrenaline going at the time too, but propels me out of the water. And he's like, hold on, he's from Chihuahua. So,
oh, wow.
Hold on, Dave, hold on. So he's just, hold on. So he's got my back, and he's just literally lifting me out of the water. And he's going to love this when he watches this podcast. But he lifts me out of the water, and as he's backing out, just trying to back up slowly towards the shore, and he's screaming, Hayden. And then Hayden sees what's going on as he's walking up. So then Hayden joins and gets on my feet. So anyway, that went on for however long it took to get me into shore there, and they get me in there, and then by that time there starts to be a little bit of buzz, what's going on there, and they get me pretty much into shore there, and people just start surrounding around. Chris, the oldest son, which is my stepson, Jen's oldest, he's a dentist now, but he was doing doctor type stuff, so he became the doctor, so to speak. He tell me what to do, and got around. He was kind of kneeling behind my head, and I just remember there's a crowd around me, and it's just, I'm like, I get really silly in those moments. You think you freak out, but I cracking jokes, and people are like, is he serious? Is he drugged? And I don't know why it is. Maybe nervous behavior or something.
I mean, there's probably a lot of adrenaline going through you too.
Yeah, because I remember one thing. I'm sitting there, and I'm laying there. This is a true story. I'm laying there, and I look. Somebody, a Mason or somebody who's there, and I go, are my feet in the air right now? And Mason's like, no. And I'm like, I think I said shit, because it felt swearing. Sorry, Bishop. So
he'll forgive you for this.
It felt like that my feet were up in the air because of the sensation, and they're on the ground. I'm like, and then I knew something like, okay, what is going on? Because it felt like they were suspended in the air, like somebody's holding them. They're on the ground. I'm like, all right, what is going on? So they're assessing, and I think Chris knew that I probably paralyzed myself. And there's a difference between, and I'll probably get this into, it's called incomplete. You probably know what that means.
I actually don't.
Yeah, so complete on an injury like this, complete would be Christopher Reeve. That's where it snapped or broke, and you're paralyzed. So I was incomplete, meaning it's like a train wreck in there, and I'll tell you more about that in surgery. But there's still something small area for that brain to send some neurons through that spine, a little area. Yeah. So I'll hold on here. So,
Well, in this moment, were you feeling pain, or was it just like you feel
no,
these weird sensations?
that's a good question. No, I was probably in shock a little bit. No, I'd say no pain. I
Okay.
remember there was no pain, just a little nervous, you know. And then a nurse that came by, and they were getting around. There started to be a little bit of crowd, and you know, it was a little hype. And I remember Alicia was like running down the beach, going, call 911. I call her Paul Revere. Call 911. Call 911.
Got Paul Revere and the
yeah, British are coming. She was calling 911. She was running down the beach yelling it. So I guess nobody had the phone, so they get down to Jen. Nothing is said to Jen, so they get it. Jen has the phone that's working. So she knew something was going on in the distance, because it's literally probably, I don't know, maybe 2 football fields away.
Yeah, not too far.
Right, it's a distance there, but she could see some commotion down there. So her phone was working, or had the phone, so it got communicated to call 911. And so Jen, I shouldn't laugh, Jen dials 911 and starts to communicate that they need to get somebody out here. There's some serious injury or whatever. So she's walking towards me, and that morning I also went to Walmart and bought a new swimsuit. So the reason I tell you that is she's walking and telling, I don't know who it is, blah, blah, she sees the swimsuit, and she realizes it's me, and that was her aha moment.
Yeah.
So I should let her tell the story, but she collapses, you know, because she knows it's me. Yeah, it's hard. Emotional saying that. But so she collapses, and she can't communicate. This is not just wasn't hard on me, it was hard on everybody.
Yeah.
But she can't communicate. I mean, she was a mess. I was laughing and making jokes. She was a mess. So I love you, honey, but you were a mess. So she loses it, and I think Callie, the other daughter, she takes over the phone and continues to do that. And then she makes her way to me, and you know, just crying, gets to me and kisses me, and I said, it's, you know, that type of thing, and just leaned over me. I said, you know, babe, it's gonna be okay. It's gonna be all right. You know, I'm really. People say my kids and my family, they always tease me and say, it could have been worse. I'm always it could have been worse. If there's something wrong, it could have been worse. They always, that's their joke with me. They always say, it could have been worse. So it's just, I don't want to pat myself on the back. It's just innate in me to do that. Yeah. I mean, it's a good quality, but I don't know, maybe to a fault. I just do that. And I could be laying there paralyzed and saying, well, you know, I'm not Christopher Reeve. You know, I don't know. So
could be worse.
Yeah, it could be worse. So Jen gets to me, so I just feel bad for that situation.
I can't
just imagine that collapse. You see, it's your husband.
Yeah, now that I'm married, it's like, that's my biggest fear is like, if anything happened to me, how Allie would.
When we tell the story and Jen's telling it, like, to somebody in the ward and sisters, they all start crying. You know, it's tough if you put yourself in that situation. You know? So that happens, and then she gets to me, and there's just some drama there. I'm holding still and doing that. I don't know how long that period was, for a while. And then it's like Baywatch, or what is that show with the thing? We're in there, and the truck pulls up, and they're doing the thing. Whatchamacallit wasn't there? Hasselhoff.
Yeah, David Hasselhoff.
David Hasselhoff. That's good job.
Yeah, there you go.
You know who that is.
I know some of those guys.
No, yeah.
He was actually
California,
in the SpongeBob movie.
Yeah, I think some vehicle pulls up, and their job was they took over, and they put me on the stretcher, and to get me I don't know, it was a ways down to where the helicopter could land. So they get me down to a certain location, get me on there. I'll back up a little minute. Here's another emotional thing here. So I'm there, and of course, you know, I wanted a blessing, as you know, but in the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, situations like this, sometimes we ask for a priesthood blessing, and it's a blessing of healing and faith. And here I have my son that's 6 days home from a mission. So 6 days home from a mission, and I'm asking him to give him a blessing on that situation. So that was tough. Yeah, there's a lot of emotions. Yeah.
I mean, that's
and it could have been worse.
That's heavy.
It worked.
But
so he's doing that, and then they get me over to the area where the helicopter lands. So they did call in the life flight or whatever it's called. And it's just, you know, you can hear the helicopter and then it gets really real, just the noises
Yeah.
and all that. And they come over and they're really cool people there with the helmets
All
and all
dressed
that.
up, yeah.
Yeah, and they're jerking me around. So I knew I did something really bad. And I remember I kept saying, they're jerking me around on that stretch, getting me in there, and I'm bouncing around. I kept saying, hey, save what you got. Okay, hey, save what you got, because my head was bouncing around.
Yeah,
and
I
that
mean, like-
girl there was 2 guys and a girl, and she's looking at me like, oh my gosh, this guy is nuts. But I just was worried that she was going to paralyze me.
Well,
So,
I've always heard, like, you know, if someone hurts their neck, you don't touch it.
yeah, well, they weren't touching me, but they were bouncing around. My neck was bouncing, and I
jeez.
kept saying, hey, save what you got.
Yeah.
Come on, be careful. You know, they probably thought it was nuts. I think they had me stiff, but I was nervous. So.
Yeah.
So there you go. I get the free helicopter, the $40,000 helicopter ride.
Holy
that went
cow.
about, I think, a half mile. Yeah. So I mean, it
No
was.
way.
It went to La Jolla.
Yeah.
Trauma Center, I think it
Okay.
was. Yeah, La Jolla Trauma Center, and that's literally Encinitas, probably be 15 miles north of La Jolla.
Man.
So I lucked out that trauma center has the best neck surgeons in
Yeah.
the world, some of the best there, and one of them in particular was one that worked on me. So that part
amazing.
was good. Yeah.
That's another blessing right
Oh
there.
yeah, it was. So, and I'll tell you what the injury was here as we move forward. Hopefully, am I making this too long and boring?
No, this is
Okay.
great. I was going to ask you on your
Sure.
way to the
Stop me when you need to ask.
Yeah, on your way to the hospital when you're in the helicopter, was it just you?
Like no family members.
No
yeah.
family members? And like you must have been fully conscious during this time.
Oh yeah,
Like
so
having
very good.
thoughts.
These
So
are good questions. So
And what
never,
were
never
some of the
unconscious. Yeah. So in the water,
yeah.
never took any salt water and never freaked out. So the whole time, conscious, never went out.
Yeah.
Good question. Never in pain, but a lot of, I don't know, shock or a lot of emotions, a lot of uncertainty.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
what is going on? You know, and it's a freaky thing, you know,
Yeah.
to do that.
I can't imagine.
So it's just, you know, when you think back now, it's just surreal how as you play it through your mind. So anyway, so the little man in the helicopter. So yeah, no, you imagine it's pretty tight. It's not like getting an ambulance, you know. So
Yeah.
it was the 3 professionals and the one driving the helicopter, flying the helicopter, and driving.
Yeah.
So they do that and they take off, and it literally was a short ride. And they get me over there, and you know they're doing their thing, and they get in there, and then the doctor comes in, and I'm in there like waiting room. There's sand all over me because we're on the beach, and
Yeah.
they're trying to get the sand all off me. So the next thing to do is they see if it's complete or incomplete. They don't know. I'm paralyzed,
Yeah.
but when you mess with the spine like that, the effect is being paralyzed. So they don't know if it's complete or will you get some
interesting.
back or
Yeah.
whatever. So they do a test and they go down by your bum and they can check things there. And if there's a contraction or thing like that, then they'll know it's incomplete because
okay.
then there's a reaction or what's a reflex.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
I'm probably not saying the right word, but
Something.
you know
Something
what I'm
happens.
saying. So I wasn't. So that was good news. So
Yeah.
This is what the doctor said. I'm gonna get real personal with your husband, and then, yeah, I should have just said that. The doctor said he was gonna get real personal with me and see if I'm complete or incomplete. So the good news was, I can't believe I just said that on the air here, but it was incomplete, which is good. But it looked like a train wreck in there. So what I did is I didn't break my neck. The action snapped my neck back and it pinched the spine closed. So that's what happened.
Wow. Okay.
So I had pictures of it. You can show it, and it's, you know, you can see like in an X-ray, you can see the small. It looks like a road and with a line on it, and then it's just pinched closed, and there's just a real small area there there's just a little bit open there, and that's so the brain now has to work through that small area and signals to everything.
Yeah.
So then that's why, you know, the chasm at the time is paralyzed, and then your body is amazing what it does in healing, and it's very resourceful.
Yeah.
You know, I've learned that in therapy. So, but at the time, it was just good news there. And at the first, it was incomplete. So then I stayed at the La Jolla Hospital. I'll kind of speed this up for 12 days. And they scheduled, I think I had the surgery like 2 or 3 days later, the swelling or something had to go down. And they literally went through the front here, and when they do that, they cut here and then they open up so that I think it's easier to get
to the spinal cord or something. Yeah.
and the discs that are there, and they put tracks in there or cages to kind of, it's like there was a train wreck in there, and they just kind of fix it into where, hopefully there'll be some recovery there. Yeah, and so I asked a neurologist one time, like, that gets pinched, real the thing, does it just kind of grow back? And he's like, no. So it just gets pinched and it stays there.
Just because it's a nerve, right?
Yeah, it just doesn't grow back. It just
Okay.
stays pinched, and it tries to work through that area, and the fluid just fills in, I guess. I don't know. It's crazy.
So weird.
So, and there's a lot of things, there's stem cell and all that stuff. And there's so many things. It's like,
Did you try
it's
stem
overwhelming.
cells?
No, I have a brother-in-law that told me I should have. And there's probably so many things, that in your rehab, and ask my wife, you could be doing. I think I did really well. I'll get into that here in a minute.
Yeah.
But then I kind of plateaued out and stayed there, and I'm kind of where I'm at now. So 12 days there, massive surgery. Like I said, crashed that party. They stayed the 5 days, and they still continued to do the things there, but I'm sure it was kind of hard because of the
they're all worried about you.
Yeah, so they tried to continue to do what we're doing, and did that, and then Jen stayed there with me, so did the surgery. It was crazy at the time. We were literally moving from Utah to Arizona, back to Arizona. So we were going to do that trip and come back to Arizona. My wife was selling the house in Utah, and I remember I was at the hospital. We had to sign for the house or whatever, and I couldn't move. So I held the pen, and the lady moved the paper to do the signature. Anyway, so it was that bad. So surgery, got that, and then they did the ambulance ride from California because I was going to check in Health South, it's called, which is a rehab there right on the border of Mesa and Gilbert.
Okay,
so baseline, Health South. It's called something else now, but
all the way from California.
Yeah, that was an expensive ambulance ride. $7,000.
Yeah,
I have all the figures there. $40,000 for the helicopter. And
yeah.
So I think it was
brutal.
$6,800 for the ambulance ride. Yeah.
Holy cow.
Yeah, it was a long ride there. So they do that, and then 40 days in rehab. So that was an adventure. I have new respect for PTs and OTs. They're amazing. The care and I still have a really good relationship with Celeste, my main person there. And she was gonna have me walk, and that's that video. As she starts crying, that she saw the moment when I was doing physical therapy, where she knew I was getting it. She knew my rotation of my hips, and I was standing up like those parallel bars.
Yeah.
There's such a picture of that.
Yeah.
And she knew at the moment the way I was walking, and she couldn't get me out of it quick enough because she knew I'd be able to do a walker and walk. And so sure enough, I do that, and she's trying not to cry, and so I'm walking for the first time. So there's just...
It's amazing.
Yeah, it's 40 days of that. So I had to learn how to walk again. I'm missing so many things, but there is a ton of things there in that 40 days of physical therapy that you learn a lot. I mentioned uncertainty. I still don't know, what's going to become. Am I going to be in a wheelchair? Am I going to be able to walk? And so, but I can honestly say, poor Jen, she's coming here trying to run her dealership, her business that she'd moved to Arizona, that she was working from Utah. Still keep my car dealership going. So I had a car dealership that I was moving to Arizona.
Yeah.
Trying to keep that active, and her plate was, to say it was full.
Super full,
Oh yeah, it was crazy.
Man, it's respect to the wives.
And stressed over that. I don't know how she did it. Prayers. Yeah.
Yeah. It sounds like you honestly had help from the other side.
100%. Yeah, we had our old ward in Utah praying for us, and our new ward in Gilbert. And when I say thousands of prayers. And when you say that, it's easy to say that, but then you really feel thousands of prayers. Yeah. There's that many people praying for you. There is a noticeable presence and faith, and I'm a positive guy, but I could feel that for sure. And I have a friend, Reggie. I told you about him. But anyway, he came to visit me.
Hans and Franz.
Yeah, exactly. Hans and Franz. He came and he said, "Like, you're acting like the mayor of the clinic there." I was just it's going to be okay type guy in there. Yeah. I very, very positive, and not because I'm a great guy. It's just because what we know.
Yeah.
You know, that's what we do. And I think with our upbringing in the church and some of the faith and some of the principles we have, it makes it not easy, but easier to handle hard things. You know what
Absolutely.
I mean? I think we know that somebody has always had it harder than us. So that puts things in perspective. And so if he didn't, well, for example, there was a gal, and I think the nurse is just like, how are you so positive? I don't mean to brag about myself, but I say that, but I'm contributing that to our upbringing. I say our because you have had a similar one. Our upbringing. I know I'm a positive person, but I'm grateful for what I've learned that helps in those scenarios.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Absolutely. I mean,
Yeah.
I think in all difficult situations I've been through, and nothing to your extent, but I've had to rely on faith, and I've had to rely on God, and trust that whatever happens is going to make me better.
Yeah.
And it might, be difficult going through it, but at the end of the day, I know that I'm going to be refined. And I mean, I can't imagine what going through 40 days of therapy was like, and that kind of thing.
Learn how to walk.
Learning how to walk again, like you said, like there must have been so much uncertainty.
Yeah. I mean, there
maybe
were
discouragement and
well, I'll talk about that.
like how'd you keep going?
We talk about that, and I think back and think, how many days did my wife and I talk and say, this sucks?
Yeah.
I can honestly tell you probably twice that it came
Really?
up. Yeah. Out of all that, that's what I mean. There was maybe one cry session like, this is not the plan. It wasn't the plan. But it was more, and this is your show. It was roll up your sleeves and get after it, and that's all I knew. And my mind was, I'm not going to be this fat guy in a wheelchair. So now I'm just not in a wheelchair. I'm the fat guy. Oh, that was a joke. Anyway, so I told myself, and I think the dealership was some motivation there. And I just remember I was, I'm finding my dealership to do it on, what's that called? The GPS or Google Maps.
Oh, yeah.
I'm finding the dealership and the zoning all on the go because I can't go drive anywhere. So anyway, I was really motivated. So, but the 40 days in there, I'm going to back up here a little bit. But I was talking about the church and the faith and what it does. But like 5 doors south of me where my room was, there was a gal that she'd been shot. There was a fight with her husband and some alcohol involved, but he shot, but I think it was complete wherever it did, but it paralyzed her. Yeah. And I remember they asked me, would you go visit with her, with the positivity, and I did. And of course, her situation was a little more gloom, but the feeling when you go in there, it's just harder, and there's just no faith in the sadness, and I said, are you spiritual? And she goes, I haven't been. And I said, she's like, I better start. And anyway, but it was just a recognizable difference, you know. And so those things I'm grateful for, not just there, but in life.
Yeah,
in
absolutely.
life, that they do help. Earlier you mentioned there, it's one of those things I say, I'm a fixer, with my kids or something. I always feel like I can fix it. I can fix it. And then some things in life are just bigger than what we can do. You can't fix it, and that's when you have to turn it over to Heavenly Father, and this was one of them. So, when you're 40 days in there, Brett, my wife goes home at 11 o'clock at night and starts her day, and she's got to make that 12-mile drive back to Gilbert from there, and I just can't imagine. And I'm laying there in that hospital bed. There's just so much time to think.
I can't imagine that. Holy
your
cow.
Perspective changes in life. It definitely changed me. I hope I'm a better man from it, but your perspective on things changes. It definitely does. My wife is amazing through it all. It's not my journey, it's our journey. What happened. So 40 days there, just the crew there was amazing, but everything I had to learn how to eat. That's the occupational therapy. I have videos that are just crazy. But I think back and look at something like, wow, I did that. I couldn't do this, or type of thing. So
that's gotta make you feel good.
It does.
Like, I've seen the progress. From the work.
I can sit there and I can do both. I'm like, I gotta go to the gym more, because like when I raise, that arm goes up, and like when I raise here, it gets really tight, really here. So here, and then like the hip flexors, that whatever happens neurologically, it attacks those areas. So like the muscle to lift your leg up, like it's take to lift up.
Yeah.
That muscle, the hip flexor, abductor, that
Yeah,
right
one
there, it's just, it attacks. It's weak. It's so weak. And if you don't work at it, literally this right here, it's just, I have a picture at the swimming pool and I'm grabbing one of the grandkids and it's just sunk in right there. Not that I was big before, but that muscle that was there, just I don't know, you can say atrophy or whatever, but it was only 40 days. I think it's just, anyway, that muscle just goes away.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
That's
Yeah,
wild.
it's crazy. But
So at this time, like therapy that's your full-time job. It's like, I got to get better.
it is.
I got to focus on what I can do to.
I'm proud
heal.
of what I did, but you can always do more, you know, and get after it and go to the gym. And I didn't do that. I kind of plateaued out, and still today I can do more. Ask my wife.
We all can. Yeah, let's be honest.
And I could, because, you know, I'm 63. So, you know, what does 73 look like? Because I move like I'm 73. So I got to ask myself in 10 years how bad it will be. But if I get after it and do things, I will counter what's.
Yeah.
Because I'm behind the 8 ball because of this injury. So
Is there still
we
like
want to serve a mission. So
Yeah.
there's things I need to do to help that.
be around for the
This question.
grandkids, that kind of stuff, you know? And,
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I mean, is there still pain like when you're going through
Good
the therapy?
question.
And
You ask all the right questions. So, like, is there pain today? No. When you say pain, it's not like an ouch pain. It's
like more like aching?
Yeah. So I can give you an example. Like today, this is what I have. When I don't have my Tramadol for 4 days, I realize how bad it is, because it's like Tramadol is like a Band-Aid. And if people are like, you know, it's addictive, I'm like, hello, what else am I going to do? You give me some homeopathic medicine, I'll take it, but it's got to work. So, but yeah, I don't take it for, you know, like I say, the medicine doesn't come in. I'm 4 days without it. I notice that it's a difference.
Man.
And I can still walk, but it's just painful. So what happens is, like, has your leg ever fallen asleep where it's just so heavy you can walk and it's just like pins and needles, and
It's the worst.
So it's like that.
Okay.
So that's what my pain is. That's, you kind of get used to it, but that's what the legs feel like. So the injury, it's not complete, but they're numb all the time.
Oh man.
So the medicine kind of takes the edge off, but they're just heavy. They just feel like they weigh 100 pounds.
Yeah.
So that's what I was saying earlier. Your body adjusts and adapts how to walk on those heavy legs. My left side's leg stronger, so you'll see me walk. The left leg, boom, takes a step. And the right one, you know how they talk that drag foot. You know, you have to pick up, because that's the heavy leg, and so I kind of slide it, but I should lift it up more. But it's that kind of stuff.
That's so interesting that happens just from that one injury. Like in different
very
sides
much
of the body. And
very much like a stroke.
Yeah.
The injuries, they put me in the stroke unit, but the symptoms, you know, the neurological stuff, it would appear like I had a stroke.
Wow.
Yeah, that type thing, but different injury. Did you ever know, maybe you know this guy, what was his last name? Reisenhower. He played baseball, he pitched baseball, but he was up in Utah and he was in a rail and it spun and he had a brain injury.
I don't think so. I don't know.
Oh, probably not, but he's your guys' age. But anyway, he got injured and he was with me. And there, and same type of thing. It's a miracle story here. But anyway, I thought you knew him, but he was in there with me. What's his last name? Anyway, so yeah, back to what I was saying. I'm probably getting off on tangents here. 40 days in there gives you a lot of time to think. Perspective changes, and I'm grateful for that. But then finally, after the 40 days, time to come home. And that was, these are milestones. You come home and still need a lot of care. Again, my wife. She's my caretaker, so she's working full-time job, keeping the dealership going. Yeah. Dude, so many hats. And then now she's going to be my caretaker at home. When I say caretaker, I mean, there's a lot of work required from me, at the first. Not now, not today, but she might pick up one of my dishes, take it to the sink.
Yeah.
But I did that before Matt.
Yeah, there you go.
So,
I mean, that's got to be something that
yeah,
I can't imagine that not bringing you guys so much closer though.
At the time we never fought, but it was a lot. There was some tears there, but I think when you're in it, you just do it, and then after you look at it, like, wow, how do we get through that? Yeah. But when you're in it, you just do. You just get after it. Roll up sleeves. What's it called again? Name of the podcast?
Getting after it.
Getting after it.
Yeah.
There you go.
Exactly.
So So came home, required a lot of care, but the swimming pool was huge. So therapy, I mean, you're in the pool walking, you can't fall into what? The water. So
Yeah, it's true.
yeah, I literally, I got home about the time of the summers there, and I mean, I got in that pool every day and walked, and that, I think that got me to the dealership faster. So my goal was to get back to the dealership. And
How long were your therapy sessions on your own? Like, was it?
well, I did it. Good point. I did it for the 40 days there, and they would take you like 3 times a day and go. And with the, but when then I went back a few times, but I didn't go back much. I probably should went back more after I left. Went back, and then I kind of just self therapy the pool and did things. And a friend from high school came and built me like a balance bar, like a ballet bar in my garage.
Oh yeah,
and
okay.
Did that. And Kenny Kelly, I'll mention his name, stud. Anyway, just kind of got after it and got pretty close to. I mean, I did do a lot more then, but got to, you kind of plateau out to a certain level there. Yeah. But back to getting to work and stuff, and you just get better every day. Realized I could drive and doing things, all these. I remember when I had this little smart car, and that was the first car I drove, and I got a little emotional because I'm like, okay, cool, I can drive. These little things like. And then I was with Mason, and I wanted to drive a little 5-speed. He's like, you can't drive that. I put the walker in the back, and let's go. And I drove it. And some things don't go away.
Yeah.
It might look all awkward, but you can.
You still got it.
So driving is good, yeah. So.
I mean,
People get nervous like that right foot gas to brake might be a little slow. And people they're right with them, they're like, is that foot gonna get over there time? I know how slow it is, but I could see I could see how nervous they were. My brother was just doing that today. Anyway, so so home in the swimming pool, and got after it and started getting that, and got back to the dealership, and guess what? About a year later, COVID hit, so I shut that down. So yeah, that was pretty much it as far as the injury. You probably have some questions on that, but that was the story there. And then went, back to the dealership and got going there. And then COVID hit, and then kind of closed that down. And so, just so you know, today I wouldn't know what I was going to do with this injury. Yeah. I still move around, but there's a lot of jobs I can't do. Yeah. The dealership was tough, because it was a hustler out there moving around. Things
walking around on the sales floor and that kind of thing.
Oh, the auction. You go on your,
okay.
You get out there. I was, prior to that, I was always hopping just around doing that, but you can't, So it was hard. COVID almost was a blessing because it couldn't keep up, and we knew it was going to shut down. It kind of answered the question there. So
we lost the business during COVID too, my brothers and I. So I mean,
it
was
changed
a rough
the
time
world for sure.
So
So like so, then it forces you into hard things. What am I gonna do? So I started Ubering for in between there. Like, it was beating the car up. I'm like, what am I gonna do? And then Hayden, my son, he was doing the job I'm at now. It's called Select Quote, and it's Medicare health insurance. But
nice.
And they provide all the leads for you, so you have to go get your life insurance and health insurance mainly.
Okay.
You go test and you get that, and so you work for him. So I've been there 3 going on 4 years now, and he's been there a year before me, and he kills it. He's a total stud. So that's why I saw the money he's making. I'm like, I could do that. Sure enough. I mean, this whole guy, and they're working with these all 30-year-olds. I'm like, I prove it to myself, hard things. I'm like, I'm going to make it here. They're teasing me, but I sure enough, I passed them and did really well. So
I love that.
You put your mind to it. Yeah, I was in
Bring
there.
out the old car dealership
Yeah, there was
skills.
a team. I started there, and you do what you have to do. I knew I don't want to go Uber anymore, and I got the job. I interviewed, and I knew I could do sales, so I got the job. And they hire, and they have an onboarding person. You need to go get your license and know that, do that. Yeah. But I was intimidated. But I knew I was going to be working the training team class. It was all on Zoom. Yeah. So there was probably 80 or 90 of us in the class. And you have to attend. And there was a bunch of 30-year-olds in there. I'm like, they're tech things. I'm old. I'm like, oh my gosh. And they teased me. But I mean, as soon as we got out, I surpassed and went to level 1, and not to brag, but I wanted to prove to myself that and so then I was laughing at that. So,
there you go. Now you guys are in the dust.
So, right, so it ended up being just a good job, and still is. I'm grateful I can pay the bills and do that. I'm just grateful for it. I get to work across the hall in my jammies to go to work. That's pretty nice.
That is pretty nice.
Yeah, so that works out. So I'm blessed. That's happened there, and there's so much more leaving out there. But I mean, that was kind of in a nutshell, what happened there.
That's
in
amazing.
That situation.
I mean,
So,
that is a wild story, Dave.
Yeah.
But
we can do hard things, though.
we can
We
do
had
hard
to,
things.
yeah.
We definitely can.
We came
But
up,
that's one that, is incredibly difficult. Like that's something I think about, and I've talked to people who have had injuries that are similar to yours. Like I've had a person named Rob Jones on this podcast. He was a bomb technician in Afghanistan.
wow.
And so he was the guy with the the metal detector in front of
stressful.
the Humvees and everything.
Yeah.
And one day he stepped on an IED, and he actually came on this podcast and talked about his story.
Okay. How do you find these people? Just they get referred or something, or
I looked him. He's actually one of Jocko's
Okay.
friends, and so
Okay.
because of that, like I just reached out to their entire team and was like, hey, would anyone want to be on?
Nice.
Pretty much. So, but the way I remember him. The most impactful thing from his story that he told me was he tells a story like he lost both his legs above the knee, and he had this moment where he was in the hospital and his mom was on her way to come and see him. It was the first time that she was going to see him, and he's like, I don't want her to see me like this. Like I look terrible, and so he's like talking to the nurses, and he goes, "Do you guys have a funny hat?" Like a random weird hat or anything like that.
I like this guy already.
And they found some pirate hat in the hospital, and they're like, "Why do you want this?" And he pretty much looked at them and was like, I either have the opportunity to make the most of this, or to give in and become Lieutenant Dan from Forrest Gump and just
Lieutenant Dan.
Yeah, Lieutenant Dan.
My wife's named Jenny.
That's pretty good. You got a good impression, actually.
My wife has never seen that show. I'm like, what?
Really?
Yeah, but
Jen, I mean, we might have to have a movie night, a date
I'm not a
night.
smart man, Jenny, but I know what love is.
That's pretty good,
And
actually.
I've been practicing here.
Yeah, that's good. But I just remember that part of the story and how he pretty much just came to the conclusion that he has two ways to go about this.
Wow.
He could be the victim, or he could.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah, and the story after that is wild because he went on to be a bronze medalist in Paralympic rowing, and then he biked across America to raise money for veterans. And then the craziest one is I don't even think I could do this. Is he ran 31 marathons in 31 days on prosthetics, and the stories he told about that were wild. But I mean, it sounds like you had a very similar mindset.
Similar mindset, maybe not experience, but I like
Right.
that you said that the mindset is you're going to get after it.
Yeah.
It's the mindset. I could have felt sorry for myself and ho hum and felt sorry for myself, but it's not my nature. I contribute to. I'm grateful that it's in me, but I'm grateful that my upbringing in the church and just ways that I've been taught. And that it helps, you know what I mean? And friends and family, there's so many helps there that you get after it.
Right.
It's easier to. That's just the thing to do.
Yeah.
I'm literally cried and said, this sucks for 1 hour, and then roll up your sleeves.
Yeah, and see what you can do. But
Yeah.
that is one thing I'd love to hear about is kind of your experience with God during that time.
With what?
With God.
Interesting.
And yeah, I mean, with whatever you're comfortable sharing. Because I know it's probably very spiritual.
Yeah,
and
I
sacred.
I served a mission. I consider myself to be a spiritual person. I've made a lot of mistakes in my life, a lot, Brett. But it changed me in a way that perspective. You think of things in more of an eternal perspective when that happens. Like I said, with the uncertainty, it forces you to relook at things. I'm sure when you thought, this is it, I'm gonna die here.
Yeah.
Here, floating there, nobody knows I'm here, and I have another minute here before I start freaking out, and it's too late. I had to be right around the corner.
Yeah, that's so scary.
Without Carlos,
Right.
and that's another thing. Let's talk about Carlos for a minute. But without Carlos, it's right there.
Yeah.
What would have happened? Should, could have, would have, but it is what it is. So, and I remember Carlos come to the hospital, and I just want to talk to him. I'm like, Carlos, why? What? I think he has a hard time answering the question. I'm like, I wanted to know how did you know what's going on? he gets, whenever I still to this day, when I ask him, he gets a little emotional and, a little tear in his eye, and he's very quiet, very humble about it. He's a good guy. I'm grateful that he lived such a life that he was in tune to be inspired not to take the wave.
Right.
Imagine if not, I'm not here today.
Right.
So, I'm grateful for
Carlos,
that.
thanks for living right.
Yeah. We joke when we say he's my new favorite son-in-law. They're all my favorites. I love him to death, but he's a special guy. He saved my life. So, but the family over this, they all mean so much to me in different ways. They were all such team players in this situation, and came to aid for me. There's no doubt. And different experiences, and I remember Hayden was young, so he kept asking one of the other brother-in-laws. He's like, "My dad can be okay. My dad can be okay." Yeah. So he's nervous, and I just can't imagine what it was like for them as well, and for me. So it was a game changer. So
did that run through your head, like when you're in therapy and everything, and everyone's worried about you, and they want to make sure that you're gonna be okay, like they're all asking. Did you think about them, and was that like motivation for you to, roll up your sleeves a little bit more? And
no, not really.
Yeah.
I didn't. That's a good question, but no, not. I wouldn't say that's just an honest answer. That didn't drive me. It was more. I don't know if there's pride there. I do want to get better. I mean, there's a little bit there, but it was mainly just get after that. It's hard to define, really. When you're in there. I'll tell you a story. It's hard to find how you do it. All I know is there was so much time to think.
Yeah.
You asked the question earlier, what was your relationship with God? It changed there. I felt like I was going to church and like that, and a spiritual person. And not that I'm so much better now, but I just think I process it differently. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think so.
Spiritual things.
Right.
I'm grateful more about certain things. And I hope that shows in me as a father, as a grandfather, and I hope so. I know I can only ask other people, but...
I mean, from my experience just talking to you and hearing your story and understanding, I think that is the case. Like, it seems like you're a very grateful person.
I hope that, and it does change, and I hope it does. I was going to say something to you that what we started talking about. I lost my train of thought.
It's okay. It happens a lot on
podcasts. Yeah. There's probably so many different things there. But I was going to say something about that. Yeah, but anyway, oh gosh, it's kind of ready to come back to me. But I was laughing. You said sometimes you just have to, the guy that says, where's the hat or whatever. Yeah. So same way, I was telling you some things when I first showed up here. You do have to kind of make fun of yourself and have fun. My grandkids, my grandkids all don't know me as when this accident happened. Yeah. It was, how many years ago? It was 8 years ago.
8 years ago, yeah.
And the oldest one is 16.
Okay.
So most of them don't know me, but with this, and there's 16 grandkids today. Oh, wow. So they only know me as this. But one thing that my hand does, I'll put it to the camera here. See if I can get the right angle. When I go like this, can you see it flipping right there? That's called clonus, and I call it my flipper. Woo! It is going to town right now. So look at the more I do.
It's performing.
On camera. Yeah, look at it. It is performing. Check it out. I always tell people, Can you flip your hand that fast?
I don't think I can.
All right, it's just one thing in life.
There you go.
I'm the fastest flipper in the world.
You're the fastest flipper.
So I tell my grandkids that it's like Finding Nemo, my little flipper.
Oh yeah,
Finding Nemo, and they love that. So you gotta work stuff you got. Disneyland. I get the return pass all the time. You work.
Yeah.
I mean, I would break my neck to do that. So you get the return pass. You gotta take the positives in life.
That's right.
So no, it's good, and I'm grateful. It's so much happened now that I look at my life in retrospect and see the things, and I don't feel. I lived my life in such a way previously where I made a lot of mistakes. I don't feel like God was punishing me over. This is pretty deep. I don't ever feel like God was punishing me, but I do think He was trying to teach me something. I won't get too much detail there, but with everything that happened and previously in my life, I just feel like the accident was an opportunity for him to teach me something. Because years previously, kind of a stubborn guy in some things and areas. Not stubborn, just clueless.
Yeah.
But an opportunity to teach me, and hopefully I responded well to it. And I think that's, he's probably shaking me like, Dave, come on, let me stop you around here. So
what a perspective to have, though. That's
so
amazing.
So it's good. I mean, you tell me about your guy with the legs and stuff, and I think, wow, I didn't do anything like that. But it's the same, would you say, the same idea or the same
just the mindset.
Mindset.
Yeah,
same
just
mindset.
the same mindset of, you know
well,
what,
my leg's offering, but the mindset's the same.
Yeah.
Hopefully if that happened, I would do the same thing.
It's a blessing that,
doesn't.
you're still here.
Yeah.
Like you said,
100%.
it was minutes from, what could have been something way different.
Yeah. I love my life. I'm glad to hear. I never feel sorry for myself. Sometimes I ask myself, like, I will drop a pencil and I drop it twice, and I get frustrated with things like that, because my motor skills in my right hand are where my flipper is.
Yeah.
My motor skills sometimes, tying a button. I can't do that. I have this cool little puller so little stuff like that. Motor skills is hard. I don't feel very much, so there's not much there. So little things like that, and I drop a pen. I can't pick. I get frustrated. That's about the extent of my being angry about it. So it's like just things you got to deal with, and they're so minute. So stuff like that. Yeah. But other than that, it's it's golden. I'm lucky.
Yeah. I think it's amazing, and like from your story, you're very driven, like to get better, to be driven to have a positive mindset, which I think is incredibly difficult, especially with a situation like this. Like, I can't imagine going through something like that, but
I like the line where you can do hard things. We were just listening to some conference talks. I can't remember who it was. I think it was President Nelson, and it was, the subject was, we can do hard things. Yeah. And we can. And you really can when you're faced with the situation. But prior to that, to me, to open up a car dealership, it's a hard thing to do that, or hard to go through and jump through the hoops to do it. Right. So my wife's like, Dave, when you want something, you get after it. You can do hard things. You can do that. So this one's, a little more forced, but you can do hard things. And I think in life, we can all do hard things. What it might be hard to some person might not be hard to somebody, but it is hard to that person.
Yeah, it's relative for everyone. But
right. 100%. As long as you're overcoming, my wife and I, we love the word becoming. Yeah. It's a huge word for us. So as long as you're making the right choices every day and trying to become, so much that was learned from this thing. So, I get older now. It's a little bit easier to be good when you're older. Yeah. So, that sounds weird, but so life's good. I'm lucky. I don't want to close this up without saying I'm grateful for my wife one more time. She's in some ways much stronger than I am. Just the things that she went through, I'd hate to have a role reversal. I wouldn't do as good.
Well, I don't know if you've heard this quote, but I firmly believe it. Behind every strong man is a stronger woman.
Yeah, I say I married up.
Yeah, married up. I for sure married up, so I totally understand that. But I mean, that's an amazing story, and I really appreciate you sharing all the details and not holding back, because I think it's, the reason I like having people on here is, if someone's going through their own challenges or trials, it's not the end. Like there's always something that you could do to improve the situation and
mindset. Like you said, you called it mindset. Yeah. And so, when I saw the title of your show here, I thought this is good, because it is one that applies to it. Yeah. It relates to that. So, and I've got some other things I'm trying to do in life right now too. So
let's hear about it.
So
what else you got?
I'll do my little plug here. Do it
Please
at the end, because I don't want to make it about that.
Yeah, take all the time you want.
No. I'll just. So I love music, and so it's funny how this came up to be.
Real quick.
Real quick.
Who's favorite artists?
Yeah, that's a good one. Hey, good question.
Top 3.
So we're talking music here.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, so I'm old, and I still like some cool people.
Okay, so I'm
Hey, let's see if we're the same. Let's see if we match.
My dad, I think he's 63.
But I know
So
I can play that game about music and say that I'm pretty good. I know a lot of old stuff. I go from Beatles to Bieber. I mean,
okay.
I could go with
You
that.
got a lot.
Yeah, and all in between, all the genres.
Yeah.
So go ahead, throw some at me, man. I'll see. Quiz me.
Prince Purple Rain.
Oh, yeah.
Classic.
And Purple Rain's even the one you went to a good song. Purple Rain's a good one.
Yeah, that's
the video
one
is
of the
on
best.
his chopper. And,
Oh yeah, that one's so good.
Yeah, that's my era. That's probably '84.
So good. My dad saw Prince twice, but
Lionel Richie was hanging out at that time. Singing Hello at that time.
Hello. You ever listen to New Order? Those guys?
New Order?
Yeah, or not New Order.
I am going to say I think I know who you're
I
talking
think I'm
about.
mixing two up.
Yeah. Oh, you are. Because I started to go through it.
Oh man.
Yeah, because I know who you're saying.
Blue Monday. That's one of their songs.
Oh.
I can't think of who it is.
Not Duran Duran.
No, not Duran Duran.
Yeah. You have to get back with that New Order.
Maybe it's not New Order. My dad's gonna hear
Okay,
this.
so
and
here
he's
I'll
gonna
be
get
throwing
mad.
one at you. Who sings? Well, I'll say it like this. Do you like? What's the title of it? Promise. The Promise.
Oh yes,
so
I know
no-
that song.
I'm sorry, but I'm just thinking
yeah.
about the ride. What does it say?
It's not you two.
Classic. Yeah, it's When at Rome. I think
Yeah,
is the
there you
name
go.
of it.
There
That's
you go.
a good one.
That is a good one.
Good '80s tune there. So
What about what if I
This
said
is
brass
fun.
brass
Let's
monkey?
do a whole show on this.
Yeah, we could. We can keep going. Brass
Monkey.
monkey.
Whatchamacallit? Beastie Boys.
Beastie
Brass
Boys.
monkey,
That's what I grew up on.
monkey,
See, that was
yeah.
all my dad's stuff.
Yeah, so that's a good one. But Reggie, I told my friend, you're going to get Reggie Haywood on this show. I'll say it now, Reggie Haywood's coming on this show.
All right, Reggie, you're next.
This dude, I'll just give you a little plug. I'd go to seminary at Mesa High School. I always tell the story, and he looks at me like I'm so weird. I'm going into what they call A period seminary, going there. His dad was the track coach.
Oh, nice.
And he was always out there running beside the white Ford Ranger, just jogging. So that's the clue in. So this guy was quite the track star.
All
So
right.
I'll let him tell you the story, but he might be in Guinness Book of World Records. I don't know. So anyway.
Wow. Okay.
Little tip there.
Yeah, we might have to get him
on
on.
the show. He definitely, what's it called again?
Getting after it.
Getting after
he's
it.
getting after it.
I think the injury is making my memory go.
I mean, get after it's more common than getting after
So
it. But
my neck injury, you
get
can
after
blame
it was taken.
you can blame it for things like when you get old and you can't remember things. You can
Yeah.
just blame it on that.
There you go.
And they're like, "Oh, that poor guy." Anyway, but I'm not remembering music though. So
Yeah.
let me throw one at you. I'll
let's
tell you a funny story. Carmen, Sunday. This is a true story. Carmen came to church with us on Sunday. She attended our ward over in the newlywed, nearly dead ward. No, just kidding. Over there in Alta Mesa. And she just said she's going to come to our ward and visited Jenny. So Jenny and her are dear friends. So she comes in and, Carmen, she's got her phone there or whatever. She's sitting there. And I think it was before sacrament, but she gets a call.
I think I know this one.
Yeah. She gets a call and it goes off.
Yeah, Men Down Under?
Yeah, Men at Work.
Men at Work,
yeah.
that's what it is.
Who can it be now? So Who Can It Be Now is playing on. I just it got the sax in it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Of course.
So that played, and then the elders quorum president came right to us right away after church was over, and he's like, it's one thing for your phone to go off, but Men at Work, that was a cool move. And I was like, how did you hear that from it? Anyway,
That's pretty good.
He's going to know the sax. So no, I love
it. Yeah, so
music.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
I'll kind of get into it. Unless you have any more trivia, you won't stump me. So you can go study if you want and get back.
I might have to study.
We should have a trivia game and have a panel.
You know what? Actually,
Let's do it sometime.
We'll
Old
have my
guys
dad.
and young guys.
Yeah,
we
because
throw 60s, 70s. You throw. Yeah.
my dad and Carmen, we actually play this game with them both all the time whenever we get
So
together.
your
with them.
dad is a music buff.
He's really good at
That'd
it.
be fun.
Yeah.
He's on my team then.
He's been to Led Zeppelin, all those guys.
Not a
He's
Zeppelin fan.
Yeah, he was huge into. No, sorry, not Zeppelin. Van Halen. He would get mad at me if I didn't say that.
Better.
Yeah, but
David Lee Roth. Right,
yeah, David Lee Roth. We say he kind of looks like him a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, a little bit, but maybe not. He'd get mad at me. Mick Jagger's what I'm thinking of in high school. Which
Lips. Wow.
yeah,
That's fun.
but anyways, we play this game where we would pick songs from like the 80s, the 90s, some in the 70s.
We've done the same.
And we'd
With
play
our phones.
as fast as we can, like the first note, and
Yeah,
we'd see if they can get
that's
it. And it's
awesome.
like instant. They'll be like,
That's awesome.
"Yep, that's Princess Purple Rain." It's
There,
crazy.
there used to be a show called Name That Tune, and they would.
Oh,
if,
yeah.
it was a game show, and they would say they give clues, and they say, "I can name that song in 3 notes." So it's kind of similar to that. It was corny,
Yeah.
but anyway, it's fun.
Anyways, back to your love of music. Sorry.
So
keep going.
No, it's okay. I like that we found this. You can formulate some type of show.
That's right.
I'm really good at that, but I will tell you, there is one guy. I'm telling you, what's his name? I'm just going to put a plug in now. Maybe they'll watch this show. It's my wife's friend Randy. It's my wife's friend Wendy. She used to work with Jen, and Randy, this dude can call off any song. The year, he's unstoppable. I've never seen anybody. I'm like, he's on my team. I mean, anyway. He's like a computer.
That's pretty good. Yeah,
he's pretty good.
He's got
So
an
we'll have
index.
to get him here. So if he watches this show, I've already told him that before. But yeah, that's fun. It's funny you have that like. So always have liked music. Definitely like all kinds. And I'm old, but I think 60s music, 50s, 60s, late 50s, early 60s was the best music to have in high school. So American Graffiti, we lost out. That would have been the best time to be in high school.
Yeah.
American Graffiti, that type of doo-wop, the best in the world, in my opinion. But I love the other music, but that would have been a good time to be in high school. No doubt about it. So, so music is great. I do love all kinds. I think I started listening to harmonies, not by Beatles, but Beach Boys. I'm a big Beach Boy fan.
Yeah, my dad, was growing up, he played that all the time.
Yeah.
So
6th grade, I've got
great at harmonies.
no headphones. I got 2 big speakers, and I laid my head between them, and I would sing, and I would take the album cover, and I would sing, and then I would dig like this with the album cover, and it would make me have like a vibrato.
Oh, wow.
So that was how I got my vibrato, was the album cover.
Really?
I can't believe I'm telling this on the air. So I would do the speakers, I sing the Beach Boys, and I do this with the album cover, and man, I sounded great.
Yeah, there you go. That's awesome.
Vibrato. Anyway, thanks for sharing.
So it started
You
from
should
when you
try
were
it
a kid.
sometime.
Yeah.
So anyway, my job, some spiff thing, I would run some nice headphones thing, whatever, and so I started listening to it at nighttime, and then one thing leads to another. Late at night, I'm listening to. I hate to say the word karaoke. That's a swear word to me.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
karaoke.
It's a swear word to a lot of people.
Instrumental or minus tracks. Minus tracks. I started listening to minus track songs, and I would like in bed. My wife would like, honey, shut up. I'd be like, I was thinking, yeah, I sound like that whisper. Anyway, so I would do that, and just my mind started formulating. So now it is a year and a half later. It went from, ooh, it'd be cool to just record some music. Oh, I should buy this equipment. So all the spiff money I'd buy some equipment. I'd buy this.
Yeah.
So now a year and a half later, I've got a little setup, and I'm not good yet, but I'm pretty good. I've learned
Just producing like songs. On your
just
own,
doing
or?
covers. Yeah,
Okay.
I've got a lot that I've already done, but I'm getting better. Just tracks, and how to do tracks and how to work. There's so much more I can learn, but I'm learning a lot.
Did you grow up playing any instruments or anything?
No, I mean no.
Yeah.
Sang. But no.
I gave up on the piano.
I wanted to
few
play
weeks in.
guitar, started a little bit here, but no. My boys, they are. And Jen's kids, I say stepkids, our family is musically inclined. They're all good. So Hayden and Mason have some stuff on Spotify. It's really
That's
cool.
amazing.
Yeah, you
That's
have him
really
on the
cool.
show and play that. Maybe.
Yeah.
But they have some good stuff on Spotify. But yeah, they're very talented. All of them are extremely. What were we saying? Oh, the music song.
Yeah.
So I was doing that as formulating, learning things. So ideas kept going and formulating. So gosh, I'll spare you all the details. Where I'm at today, I'm doing it's called the Daily Dose Show. I actually just did a jingle tonight for you. I'll play it for you before it's going on.
You can play it.
So I'm going to. It's 40 seconds.
Yeah. Why not?
Okay. So anyway, so I'm going to play it right now.
Yeah. Hold
It's
it
a
up
Daily
to
Dose Show. You want to hear it?
Yeah. Hold it up to the microphone a little bit so
Yeah.
everyone can hear it.
What, we go until midnight? All right, it's only been an hour.
Yeah, we can keep going.
I will shut it down here in just a minute. If you're stay tuned for another 10 minutes.
Another 10 minutes. We got this going.
Yeah.
Now we're on the
You
topic
gotta
of
stay
music.
tuned now because you're gonna hear the Daily Dose Show jingle, guys. This is live for the first time ever played on
This is an
Getting
honor.
After It.
This is a
Getting
honor.
After It.
Yeah.
Getting After It live, first time premiere. I think
All
they
right.
call it, right?
Here we go.
Stand by. Stand by.
I'm ready.
Wait, no, that's Brett. That's you. You don't have it. Oh.
Which, by the way, music, that helps you get after it. So,
That's right. It motivates me. It's fun, and I got to tell you what to do, but I'll play this
Yeah.
for you. Okay, what am I? I'm challenged. Here we go. Are you ready? Should I just put it into that?
yeah, just hold it up.
Okay, all right. You ready for this?
Here we go.
It's done probably 10 minutes before I left the house.
All right.
Wait for it.
Ooh.
I'll give you $20 if you can tell me the background music. I stole it from someone. Probably shouldn't say that to you. Listen to that music. That's the key.
Oh, man.
My son got it in about 5 minutes.
Really?
I think I might have told him though. He was ending. It's the Daily Dose Show. Oh,
That's pretty good. I'll
I would
clap
add
to
together.
that.
I still have to add one more harmony.
I
So what I
liked it.
just said is the Daily Dose Show, don't you know? So what the
liked
Daily Dose Show is, oh, sorry.
There it goes. Round two.
Shut
Wait.
it off.
You got to tell me what the song was because it sounds so
It's
familiar.
like the jingle. Oh, yeah. So,
Yeah, the one you sampled.
That's a clue right there. I wonder what that sounds like on this podcast.
I don't know.
So I'll give you a clue.
Okay.
This is a fun game right here.
Yeah,
See?
this is fun.
Back to music. Oh man, this is gonna give it away. Okay, you ready?
Yeah. I might not get it. I don't know.
No,
I'm not
you
music-
will.
Okay.
You're living in a cave if you don't. Pack it up, pack it in.
Okay. Let me begin. Yeah, okay.
It's the background music to that.
That's
so I
pretty good.
Stripped
Jump
it
around?
down.
No, it's not
Yeah,
jump around.
Yeah, jump around.
Yeah, it is jump around. Okay. House of Pain.
Back to House of Pain.
Yeah,
there you
there we
go.
go.
From Ireland, where I went on my mission. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so pack it up, pack it in. Let
me
me
begin.
begin.
Yeah, so good.
We should go on tour.
We should. Why not? Daily Dose Show. So what is
Daily
it?
Dose.
What is the
We'll
Daily
have to
Dose Show?
put you want your name to be in there too if we go on tour? The Daily Brett Show. No, anyway. So
Yeah, I could just be, a really
Just a
small font on there.
the Daily Dose Show is. So my brother just told me on the way over here tonight. He was all serious. We went to Pete's and he's like, Dave, and he knew about this Daily Dose Show. So, so it's a platform for. I've went everywhere on this. It's a platform for teenagers. I put a limit from 14 to 18. I'll tell you why I did that. 14 to 18 to do covers. Okay, so it's a platform for their music to be heard.
Yeah.
And I want them to learn different types of genres, like our vast knowledge that we have.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, so
Like what type of genres? You're talking like soul music, like some pop or
little,
whatever, like
whatever.
anything they
well,
want.
I'm
Country.
gonna let them just do their thing at
Okay,
first,
yeah.
but then I'm gonna send a song that they have to do. You know what I mean? They're gonna let them do their thing, and I'll play.
Yeah.
So they'll send. So it's 14 to 18. So the joke is, who's this old guy with teenagers? So I will say now, maybe I'll get my wife on the first couple shows. My wife on the first couple shows.
Yeah,
So,
we'll have Jen there.
yeah, I
Supervising.
will never have somebody over doing a cover without my wife there, male or female. Anyway,
Yeah.
so yeah, that would be weird. And so I'm not a creepy old guy. It's the reason we did 14 days. I'll say it now. The reason I did that age, because I started thinking about it, and it was Hayden's idea. If I do this Daily Dose Show
Yeah.
and people to do covers with adults, guess what? They're going to fade out in about 2 weeks. So then it's just not going to become a thing. I think teenagers are going to dig it, and they're going to get into it because they want to do a cover on TikTok or whatever.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I want to be the guy that does the platform to provide that. Granted, I'm old, but I hope that I have enough knowledge
Yeah.
to work the equipment, have the equipment come in. So what I want to do is when they send me a silly cover on their iPhone, and they're singing a song they like, Morgan Wallen, and they're singing it, blah, blah, blah. And they do it and they send it to me. I take it and I put it on my tracks. I just want to make it sound a little bit better. So, and then I want to play it back on the podcast. So I want to enhance it. Yeah. So I'll enhance it and play it back, and I hope they like it. But then after the week of those, let's say there's 20 people that do that. I'm giving you a scenario. 20 entries came in, and I played their songs. I will pick one, and they'll have a winner that wins $1,000. Okay, I lied on the $1,000. A winner will get a free T-shirt.
There we go.
So, and it's really not winning the free T-shirt. It will really be pretty cool, but it's about having your song replayed again. And if it gets to a point where fairly large, that'd be cool. You know, I would love it if it was 200 people. That would be cool, that people would actually get to be on that platform and play their music, and somebody could do it. And this is where you got to teach me a lot of this stuff. So
I'm happy.
I would imagine it would still be stored on there, and the videos would be stored, so anytime people could go to it and hear one of the videos or whatever, you know. So the idea is that it comes to me, I will take what I've learned and try to enhance it and make it sound better for them. Because most people at 15 know how to sing on it, but they don't know how to do some of the equipment.
I mean,
I would think.
Some of them do. I used to make tons of movies when I was that age, and knew nothing about editing. And so if I had someone doing that for me, like, hey, send me your videos, I'll make them look really cool. Like, that would be a game changer for me.
Okay.
And
So
I could see the same thing with, like,
analogy.
Yeah,
right.
with people with music, like, you know,
I
it's.
don't know if I'm that good, but
I don't know, like,
good enough to where they won't know the difference, and it'll sound good.
I mean, my niece, she's 17. She sings songs all the time, and
I'll send you some of the stuff I've done already.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Recorded. It's what I did find. Man, this show is going to be long, and I'm so sorry.
No, this is great. I love it.
Does this still have to do with getting after it?
Yeah, I mean, you're getting after
still
life.
relate.
Absolutely.
Getting after this podcast.
100%. Yeah.
Okay. What was I saying?
This is about the platform itself and everything.
Oh yeah, the platform. I don't know what I was saying. Oh my gosh.
Is it live yet?
No. I'm about a month out before I will do this, and I was trying to remember what I was saying. But anyway, the songs come in. I want to redo that, and I just want it to be fun where it gets to be where people know, to kids, teenagers, and it's a positive thing to do. They have fun doing it, and it just gets to be a thing. You know, a thing where they. You asked me who my favorite artist was. I never did answer that question.
It's true.
I just said the word "thing." Isn't it a thing? Who's that?
Man, you got me.
Who is
there.
that? I just sang the first 3 lines. Isn't it a thing?
What's the next ones?
I could do plenty. I have phases where I like people, and then
what's the time?
I'll sing another one. What's that?
Time frame? Like when was this? In 19?
He won on he won on America's Got Talent.
Really?
I love to give you clues.
America's Got Talent. And he won, I assume.
And he went on there. Yeah, I think he did. And then I just find him, and then all of a sudden, and he did that song I just sang, and he sang 10,000 Reasons. No, not 10,000 Reasons.
Ed Sheeran?
No. I love Ed Sheeran, but no.
Oh man,
it's Caleb Scott. You know who that is?
I don't think I do actually.
I stumped you.
You stumped me.
Yeah, I'll send you some.
Yeah, you'll have to.
He's got a good baritone tenor voice for that.
Okay.
He writes a lot of music, and it's so good. It's a piano and just good stuff. Yeah, Caleb Scott. You've probably heard some of his music. You just don't realize his name. Do you know who Jake Scott is?
No, I don't. Oh. Yeah, I mean,
I'm Jake Scott, and then I haven't listened to him for a while. But my daughter, I heard it in the car one time, and he's good. I was all over him, but I haven't listened to him for a while. But anyway, Caleb Scott. That's your homework assignment for me to
got it.
Is you'll listen. I'll send you something off Spotify.
Yeah, some of your favorite ones.
Yeah. So, but I'll just say Louis Capaldi. Love him. He's good.
Okay. Yeah.
So he's one of my favorites. It's just people that, and it's funny. I don't have much of a range. I can't go up there. It's funny. You love the songs that you can't sing. So I've learned how to. That one thing I went to. I learned how to lower the key and higher the key. So you'll find. I'm not a professional, but I've learned. I see, and my wife probably laughs at me because she's very musically inclined, music theory and all that stuff.
Oh wow!
But I'll take a song and I'll raise it up notes, the key and the level,
Yeah.
and then I'll sing underneath it. So the key's there, but I'm singing underneath it, and it sounds good. So like Bee Gees, I could sing an octave
Ooh, yeah,
underneath
there you
them
go.
because they're so high.
Yeah,
But
they
you
have
sing the
they have
song.
some
Give me an
almost
example.
Alvin and the Chipmunk
Yeah,
voices.
they're out there. So, right. So you can sing an octave under, but that's an example.
Night Fever, that's a good one.
Yeah. So, but the thing is, you can, if it's out of range, you can take it up 2 steps and sing
Yeah.
underneath it, and it's good because then it's right where you want to be. So I found I play around with that like crazy.
That's awesome.
Yeah, just so minus tracks. I don't like the word. What's this word?
Yeah, you don't
It's
say
just because then
don't
you're
say
thinking karaoke. But let's face it.
I mean,
YouTube. You
yeah.
can find everything.
There's a reason why karaoke and bar, those 2 words go together, because it's the only
I
time they
just
do.
hate the stigma with karaoke, but I find some of them and it's a karaoke song and it has the best sound. But I like to do a lot of not minus tracks, instrumental,
Yeah. Yeah.
piano or guitar,
Okay.
and they're so good. And they're minus all the other instruments, but they're really chill and they're good. So a lot of that kind of stuff. I'll send you over a couple of things that
Yeah,
I've done.
please do.
Yeah, and so it's fun.
Yeah, when you launch the Daily Show, where's it going to
Daily
be?
Dose Show.
Daily Dose Show.
It's
Sorry.
the Daily Dose.
The Daily Show is something completely different.
No. What did you say?
I was saying the Daily Dose or the Daily Show is something completely different. I think it's like a
right.
political show, but
That's DAILY.
yeah.
Yeah, I'll launch it. I'll probably need your help, and I don't know if it's a launch. So is it a podcast? Because let me tell you what I do. I'm not doing this.
Yeah.
Well, maybe once in a while I might have somebody that has done music, and I'll get them on. I'll talk maybe for 20 minutes. But most of mine is getting on the show, and I've had 3 songs in. I'll get in. I'll say, hey, I've had some 3, and I'll talk about it, and I'll play the songs and play their videos and talk about it. Then I'm out. And they're recorded. So is that a podcast?
I mean, yeah.
It's all during the week, so it's daily, or you're getting on there, and then the songs, and then I'm announcing. But on that Saturday, I might spend 20. So it's Saturday to Saturday, and I might spend 20 minutes on there talking, and who's the winner, and here's the free T-shirt, and then the week starts all over. So that's the idea.
If you put it on Spotify or anything like that, it'd be
I'm
a
gonna have to pick your
podcast.
brain.
I mean,
So
there's lots of people who have like solo podcasts, and
Okay.
Podcasts can be kind of whatever.
Don't
you
want to
want
be
it to
live. Don't want to stream like that. I definitely want to record, so I
Yeah.
can record, have some, jammed up because I get busy. But you have some stuff in there. But yeah, excited about it. It's fun.
That's awesome.
I didn't realize you were such a music buff. That's really cool. So now we have
I
something
love
to call
music.
it.
I mean,
Yeah, that's really cool.
Also, Earth, Wind, and Fire. They're
Oh,
out there
yeah.
for me. Like
Yeah.
my grandpa used to
Yeah,
love
you're
that
throwing
stuff.
out some old
and,
stuff. Yeah.
Man, my grandpa, he was a concert pianist, and
Okay.
he was going to have his own radio show, but then he was about to have a kid, and he's like, I don't think this is the life I want to have. So, but I grew up hearing him play, and my dad, he's listened to so much stuff. Like he loves everything from, like heavy metal to, super soul music to kind of everything, gospel. Like he loves it all. And
I do too. I mean, I love back in the day. We used to in high school. We were like, it was cool to go to the church dance, and that's what we did. You guys go today, and well, not you guys.
yeah, I was gonna say maybe not.
I've heard
27.
but they go and they stand and be in standing group. And I mean, I used to go and see the cutest girl and go ask her and get her phone number and whatever. They don't do that anymore. Anyway, how do you meet people? Anyway, so
It's changed a lot.
Right, it has. Yeah, it is social change. But
weird.
we used to go and man, we check a tail feather. We were dancing a lot of not disco. I would say not Earth, Wind, and Fire, but some
disco. Yeah, that's some
like
good stuff.
The Gap Band.
I know the Gap Band.
Oh
yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yep.
Some good stuff.
So yeah, there's some good stuff in there. That's my time era, a lot of that stuff. But there's a lot of variety of music, and for now I'll let them show and stuff. But then I'll pick a song, and I'll say that they have to cut that song. So the entries that come out have to do that'll be cool. So then I'm controlling the narrative.
Yeah, there you go.
So it's very cool, and then see who does the best song. So it'll be fun. It'll be fun to mess with it. And thanks for letting me say all this stuff. And
of
don't
course,
take too much time.
I mean, it's
good.
That's why I have this show, so I can learn what people
I'm
are
going to
getting
have you
after.
on the Daily Dose show, and you're going to sing live.
I
Well, you know what we're going to do? We're going
might have to put my mom in there for that one.
No, I make people sound good, so I'm going to have you on my show.
Okay.
And I will get you to do a cover, and we'll say, this is Brett. And everybody's going to be like, that's not Brett. I'm like, yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Hey,
So-
listen, I'll trust you.
All
I'll
right,
trust
all
the
right, Reggie,
process.
sing it. And there's Carmen out there. I talked about you on this podcast, about your phone going off in church.
Yeah. Men at work.
Men at work. So that was Carmen out the door anyway.
Mother-in-law.
Yeah,
love her.
so no, it's fun. I love your thrill for music, so that's fun. We'll definitely be talking for
Yeah,
sure.
for sure.
I appreciate you having me on here. And
Of course. I mean, it's been.
we're kind of in the closing mode, aren't we? So
Yeah,
can
I
you
mean-
tell it's closing up? Can you hear that? Can you hear it?
You feel it in the air, actually. Yeah, it's right there.
Feeling the closing man, it might be the time. But yeah.
No, but honestly, I truly appreciate you coming on
Yeah.
and
It's
sharing
great.
your story because, one, it's an amazing story of resilience and keeping a positive attitude when, all hell breaks loose in a sense.
It is, yeah.
And
So many different scenarios that can happen.
yeah, and I
That's
think
but anything.
there's a lot of people out there who are fighting their own battles, and it might not be as drastic as like a life-changing injury,
There's
but
addictions. There's
Yeah, so
there's
it's-
so many different battles out there
Yeah.
that this applies.
right,
Getting
Right.
after, and that's why I love your show. And you said passionate about things, and
yeah.
you keep doing this. This is good stuff.
Well-
And I'm going to send people your way
Hey, and I'll do the same.
because I think I get a good vibe for what you're doing here. So
I appreciate it.
I'll throw Reggie your way here, and he'll be on here soon.
Yeah, we'll get Reggie
He's
on.
He's City of Mesa honoree or something. I don't know.
Well, now I'm excited
Something,
to talk
yeah,
to.
it's like the mayor of Mesa or something. I don't know.
Oh wow! There we go.
He's gonna laugh when I'm talking about him, but anyway,
But yeah,
we
it's-
have so man, I could talk to you forever.
That's all right.
In high school, real quick, in high school, there's like 20 of us
Yeah.
guys that hung out. And we were all LDS, and so we were pretty rowdy, but we didn't drink or anything. But we're just
Yeah.
crazy rowdy.
That's
you know?
exactly. You're
Yeah.
explaining my friend group to a
I know
T.
that. See, and
Yeah.
I knew that, but we weren't getting really trouble. But we were pretty goofy.
Yeah.
And I bet one of my friends was not a member, but he'd go to seminary with me. I'll try to make this a short story. And we went across and we learned about the Mormon Battalion, right?
Okay.
So we learned about the Mormon Battalion, and he thought that was really cool. And we're crossing the street, and he's like, "Hey, the Mormon Battalion!" And he's yelling the name, whatever. And he's talking about us buddies all hanging out because we're
Yeah.
all LDS. And so, anyway, he ends up. I don't know where he's at. He's gone now. It became an MMB. It's called the Mesa Mormon Battalion. So it's our gang. We have
Mesa Mormon.
yeah, it's a Mesa Mormon Battalion. Mike Moore, do you know who that is? He made up ties on our mission that said MMB on it. And
That's awesome.
It became our thing. We're thinking about setting it up to have a business name or whatever
there
it's
you
called.
LLC. Or
Yes,
something.
thank
Yeah.
you.
There
Yeah,
you go.
something like that. There's a lot of cool people on it, but we help people. Like we just got a donation for somebody that passed away in our high school and donated some money and
that's
things
awesome.
like that. But anyway,
cool.
yeah, Mesa Mormon Battalion. So it's just a bunch of friends from high school
Doing
About 20 of
big
us.
things.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
awesome.
Yeah, so thank you.
Yeah. Of course. And
Great show.
yeah, once people, or once you launch the Daily Dose show, we'll have to make another plug on this and
Yeah,
have you on
that'd be
again.
fun.
But
I'll
seriously
wait till it
appreciate
gets
you.
about 100,000 viewers, and then maybe
Yeah, there you
talk
go.
about it, so.
I mean, this is like you said, we're up in the listener count just like Joe Rogan on this
right.
podcast. So
I-
you might get overwhelmed.
Just so you know, listeners, I didn't know Brett too well, so I teased him. He's so serious about his show. So I was making a joke about him and Joe Rogan, like 1 and 2. You guys trade turns, and he came back with a serious response. It's kind of like that, whatever. Anyways, a serious response about what you do, and I thought it was funny because I was trying to
kind of the same
trying
kind
to
of
be, yeah, you were
conversational show,
yeah,
but
that's what you said.
very lower count
I
of
said,
views.
Brett, I was trying to make a joke. Oh yeah, okay. So
Yeah, that's business, Brady. It
good
comes
stuff.
out, but
Good
yeah,
stuff.
I really appreciate you coming on.
All
and,
right.
it's great having you. Great,
Yep.
great talking
It's
with you.
been
and-
fun. It's my first experience on this, and I'll do it again.
Yeah, you did great. So,
All right, man.
well, thank you all for listening. Appreciate you tuning in today and kind of hearing the story. And if you went through and you've gone through difficult things, and you know someone who might be, feel free to share the show with someone, and please feel free to like and rate. And as always, keep getting after it. Thanks, guys. You are the man.